Hello, and welcome to another episode from our series on Getting to the Pros, where we meet with different professionals and we just take a sneak peek into what they do in their job.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. Steve Jobs, Stanford University, 2005.
So, hello, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Sylvia Gayed.
Hi, Sylvia, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi, Sylvia. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
All right. So where are you from, Sylvia?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
And what do you do?
I'm an accountant. I own my own business and I pretty much specialize in taxes.
Nice.
All right. So what made you choose this career path?
I believe just growing up, I've always enjoyed helping people and I've been a type of person who's good at problem solving. So going into college, I found passion into a lot of math and different solving from different aspects, and I figured that accounting was the really good road for me to take.
How many years did you go to school?
4 years.
4 years.
All right. And
Yes.
so in your college career, what challenges did you face?
Definitely just trying to get experience in my field. So straight out of college, I had to do an internship for Universal Music, where I got more of a hands-on experience in accounting and finance, and that was just really the stepping stone for me in that career. So you had to put some volunteer work, you had to do put in a lot of hours to get the experience before I decided to go on and version to opening my own business.
Okay.
So what advice would you give maybe people who are interested into going into the accounting field?
I would definitely advise them to try to decide early on what direction they want to go into. For example, if they really want to specialize or continue to being, once they graduate, if they want to continue being an accountant, a corporate accountant, or if they want to specialize in taxes or in audits, do they want to work into one of the big four public accounting firms, or do they want to eventually open their own business? So all these decisions or plans depends on where their passion goes. They should probably decide and think about it and plan it ahead. It will save them a lot of time in the long run.
Now, fast forwarding a little bit, now that you've got your own business, what's your schedule like now?
Now that I have my own business, I have more autonomy and flexibility. During tax season, typically it's a lot of hours. So I'm typically working between 12 to 14 hours. I work Saturdays and Sundays to try to accommodate clients as much as possible. But aside from that, so typically past April 15th, which is the deadline for taxes, typically I have more flexibility, which gives me and allow me to do more of other things that I enjoy, whether it's service in the church or mission trips or volunteering or whatever other things that I really enjoy to give back to the community and to our church.
Now, we know April 15th is the end of tax season. When is the beginning of tax season?
Typically, January 1st is the beginning of tax season.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But to e-file taxes and to really start diving in it, it's typically the second week of January. When people start getting their W-2s and we start doing their taxes so that they can get their refund early on. Yeah. But again, April 15th is just the first deadline but there are people who goes on extensions, so then the next deadline, if you go on extension, would be October 15th for individuals, and then for corporations and partnerships, that's usually September 15th.
Okay. Mm-hmm. What do you love most about your job?
Challenging. I really enjoy dealing with people in general and the interaction, the personal interactions. So what I find very gratifying is when I find loopholes for my clients to save them on taxes, and that's typically like where I feel most gratified about. Here as individuals, a situation that comes to you, people, you're helping them plan ahead financially, you're helping them also try to find ways to save them on their taxes because they pay a lot of taxes. Yeah. And even though the job is challenging from the angles of having to keep up with all the tax laws changes every year, because you do have to keep up with it to be able to help the client. So it takes a lot of work, a lot of research, but it's gratifying in the fact when you see the clients very appreciative to the work that you've done, and obviously it returns, with more referrals for myself, and for the firm from new clients in business.
And who wouldn't like an accountant who saves them money, right?
Yeah,
Who's able to...
and probably nowadays even more so than it was back in the days.
Sure. Yep.
But grateful to God for that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So on the contrast, what do you find is the most challenging thing about your job?
Challenging about my job is probably being able to juggle multiple things at the same time and keep up with the tax law changes. Tax law changes have been, over the past 3-4 years, they've been tremendous. It's almost like every few months we got new changes. And even though they've changed one law a certain way, they go back and change their mind on it, and they rewrite the law. So knowing when to research and knowing when these changes happen and where to go to find the most updated changes is really definitely the challenging part of it. So keeping up to date with it is a bit challenging. However, I've been already having my business for over 7 years now, so you kind of know already when to start looking and when to search, so you can better be more efficient in the work and be able to get the most updated ones and the latest updated ones in time for tax season.
So you've had your business for about 7 years, and how many years were you an accountant, if you don't mind? Or
I total have close to 10 years of experience.
Wow. So with the experience that you do have, would you encourage, say, maybe like seniors in high school who are interested in pursuing maybe a career in accounting, would you encourage them to go to school for that?
I totally would. Accounting is a field that's very rewarding. I mean, most people think about medicine or attorneys, and they're all wonderful fields. It depends on where your passion is. And the way I look at taxes or accounting, and taxes in particular, is that you're still able, if you're the type of person who enjoys interacting with people, enjoys helping others, and then accounting is definitely one of the fields you want to go to. I look at it as still being the accounting doctor, but without the blood involvement, as you try to help them financially, so you're saving their financial lives, and rather than saving their actual lives. So it's not everyone can be an accountant, and you have to enjoy numbers, you have to enjoy research, there's certain attributes you should have, and you should recognize in yourself early on to be able to know if this is the right career for you. But it's very rewarding if you stick in it, if you really put a lot of hours in it, and you'll learn, you will be able to grow, and you'll be able to succeed in it, just like pretty much every other career.
So would you say Uncle Sam is your best friend?
I think my clients are my best friends. I'm not against Uncle Sam. We all have to pay taxes, right? You still have to pay your taxes no matter where you are. But with the right tax planning, you do save for them, right? So I'm more of a client side than I am on the IRS side. Okay. But I do everything legitimately for the clients to save them, And that's within hands. If you're doing your work and you really do the right research and the right tax planning, you definitely can save these people money in their pockets.
Right, absolutely.
All right, now here's kind of a weird question. If you never saw yourself as an accountant, what would you see yourself as now?
A doctor.
Doctor.
Yes. Early on, when I was in college studying for, and going my career, I used to actually do a volunteer work in hospitals and ERs, and I actually had considered at some point medicine, at least the first year or two in college. So I would have probably went into medicine. Again, it probably comes from the fact that I have this love in me of wanting to help people, that care, and basically just a problem solver. So being this combination probably would have driven me to go into medicine. A doctor, a physician assistant, but somewhere in medicine.
So success means different things to different people. What would you say success means to you? Tough question?
Tough question. I think success for me is just having certain goals and trying to and achieving some of these goals, not necessarily all of them, but being in a good being content with what God has given you in your life is a big success. because also often we are challenged in our lives. We see different things and different situations happen, and we're never gratified with what we have. So success is just to be, to have a goal, and with the grace of God be able to reach that goal and be content at it. Build other goals, but don't build something that you cannot reach, you know. Do not have higher expectations when you know what your capability and what God has given you. But success is definitely reaching your goals and being grateful to God for giving you the chance to reach, you know, these goals in your life.
And then everything we always do is always to the glory.
Absolutely, it's for the glory of God.
Yeah.
All right, so our final question is, we know that there are a lot of changes going on in the economy, down, up, wherever it's going. Do you feel like there's a growing demand for accountants out there?
You know, it's funny you asked this question. I believe there is a growing demand maybe in the corporate world for accounting, because accountants are in corporations, they're considered almost like the heart of the corporation. The corporation cannot function without knowing where they stand from a budget, from a forecast, from actual spending. They always go back and fall back on the accounting department to figure these things for them. In taxes, it depends. If you are going to be doing more of complicated tax returns, then yes, there is growth for you there. If you're going to only focus on individual tax returns to do, it's different. Because nowadays there is typical, you know, new softwares that you can actually go and log in online and just, if you have a straight W-2, do your own tax return. So it depends on how you're going to structure or what area of accounting you're going to work in. We're definitely going to need always accountants. You can never get rid of accountants. There's some professions you can never get rid of. You know, accountants, doctors, attorneys, and accountants are one of them. Whether in corporate world, or whether in finance, or whether in your own business, this is definitely an important profession to have. So if someone is contemplating, which, you know, between going into accounting or medicine or other fields, looking just at the growth in that industry, growth is still pretty high in that industry, regardless of what's happening in the economy and the cut downs and all of that. We know that every business needs an accountant, you know, at some point. You might start being a W-2, but you will open your own business later. You might set up a corporation. You might work for a corporation. So you're always going to need an accountant, you know, help at some point in your life.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you. It's great to be with you guys here.
And thank you for joining us for another segment of Getting to the Pros.